Hello, welcome to 5 Minutes with Michelle Fanger. I'm an attorney here in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm the owner of the Fanger Law Firm. I can be contacted at 904-480-6612, or you could check out my website at www.fangerlawfirm.com. So today, I'm going to focus on immigration. I practice other areas such as Florida family law and tax, but today I'm going to focus on immigration, where for the next 5 minutes I'm just going to provide with little bits of information that will be helpful. Some of you might be aware of it. Some of you might say it's so simple, but it's a common errors that I've noticed in my practice that can be corrected up front. So one of the categories of immigration that is most used is a process to petition for an alien relative to relocate to the United States, or if they're here in the United States, to adjust. Alien relative mean you're petitioning for your spouse, your parent, a stepchild, your child, or a sibling. So what's the first step? If the person lives in the United States, well, overall, if they're in or outside, you have to complete the petition form for alien relative. What you want to do up front is to ensure that the names that are on the birth certificates are accurate. I've seen a lot of instances where the name on the birth certificate is spelled differently and it's not the name that is being used regularly by you, or the petitioner or the person that is the beneficiary of the petition. So always review the birth certificate if you intend to petition for someone. If it's not accurate, you can change that by contacting the relevant department to fix the birth certificate. I'm Jamaican, so in Jamaica, I know you go to registrar's department and have them correct the birth certificate. What you need to know too is that when completing the form, because you have used the word prior, always input your accurate name when you're completing the form. But when they ask you what other names you have used, please ensure that you put in all the names you have used throughout your lifetime. Oftentimes, people do not input the information, and then it can be a problem because you are attesting on that document, so what you said is truthful. That's important. Next thing is always ensure that your passport is up to date. A lot of people might say, oh, really? But I've had cases where we're doing it and I look at the passport and it's already expired. So always check to ensure, because you want to make sure the documents that you are providing are updated so that you don't have a kickback. So check your passports, ensure that it's not expired, and then you could contact your consul general to have them quickly expedite the processing of your passport. The next important thing is that for evidence for children who are over 18 and a parent is petitioning, usually they're asking, especially for fathers, have you been involved in this child's life? So you have to provide some form of proof, whether if they attended school, you could contact the school. If they attended church, you could contact the church to get affidavits from individuals stating that they are aware of this relationship. For spouses, another thing for spouses, you have to ensure that you provide the documentation. In my practice, I provide the documentation up front to establish the relationship. It's like I'm telling the story. Now, when it comes, if you do get an interview, they are aware of what, because they have the evidence in front of them already to review. So they usually, oftentimes, if it's up front and they have all the evidence, they don't question or pressure you as much in the interview. So you could look for evidence such as rent, lease, affidavits from individual to talk about the relationship, pictures. But don't believe that, oh, I have to only submit pictures. Pictures tell the story, but they're also looking for additional stuff. So you have to make sure you're sending a comprehensive file. And another important thing is that just be mindful that if you do go into an interview, it's up to the officer doing the interview that could decide how they're going to conduct the interview. So what they could do is do a stock interview where they separate parties for whatever reason to ask them additional questions. So you have to be familiar with your spouse, and it's always important to speak to a representative, an attorney. So you could definitely reach out to me if you have any additional question at 904-480-6612.